I chanted last time itself. It's someone else's turn, I think.
को नाम बन्धः कथमेष आगतः.
Is it me or Ramuji?
कथं प्रतिष्ठास्य.
Katham pratistasya
कथं विमोक्षः.
katham vimokshah
को सावनात्मा.
ko savanatma
परमः क आत्मा.
paramakka atma
तयोर्विवेकः.
tayor vivekah
कथमेतदुच्यताम्.
kathametaduchyatam
यद्बोद्धव्यं तवेदानीम्.
yad bhoktavyam. Just I am looking.
This is shloka number 26 of the abridged version. We are chanting only the abridged version.
In 26. Then you ask me after that.
Don't look at that. Don't look at the full version. You will not be able to manage.
Okay.
You won't be able to manage.
This is, I have marked it.
यद्बोद्धव्यं तवेदानीम्.
Yad bodhavyam tavedani
आत्मानात्मविवेचनम्.
atmanatma vivechanam
तदुच्यते मया सम्यक्.
taduchyate maya samyak
श्रुत्वात्मन्यवधारय.
shrutvatmanyavadaraya.
Next, somewhere around 90. पञ्चीकृतेभ्यो भूतेभ्यः.
Panchikritebhya bhutebhyah
स्थूलेभ्यः पूर्वकर्मणा.
tulebhya purvakarmana
समुत्पन्नमिदं स्थूलम्.
samutpannamidam sthulam
भोगायतनमात्मनः.
भोगायतनमात्मनः
अवस्था जागरस्तस्य.
अवस्था जागरस्तस्य
स्थूलार्थानुभवो यतः.
स्थूलार्थो अनुभवो यतः
वागादिपञ्च श्रवणादिपञ्च.
वागादिपञ्च श्रवणादिपञ्च
प्राणादिपञ्च अभ्रमुखानि पञ्च.
प्राणादिपञ्च अभ्रमुखानि पञ्च
बुद्ध्याद्यविद्यापि.
बुद्ध्याद्यविद्यापि
च कामकर्मणि.
च कामकर्मणि
पुर्यष्टकं सूक्ष्मशरीरमाहुः.
पुर्यष्टकं सूक्ष्मशरीरमाहुः
इदं शरीरं शृणु सूक्ष्मसंज्ञितम्.
इदं शरीरं शृणु सूक्ष्मसंज्ञितम्
लिङ्गं तु
लिङ्गं तु
अपञ्चीकृतभूतसम्भवम्.
अपञ्चीकृतभूतसम्भवम्
सवासनं
सवासनं
कर्मफलानुभावकम्.
कर्मफलानुभावकम्
स्वाज्ञानतः
स्वज्ञानतः
अनादिरुपाधिरात्मनः.
अनादिरुपाधिरात्मनः
स्वप्नो भवत्यस्य
स्वप्नो भवत्यस्य
विभक्त्यवस्था.
विभक्त्यवस्था
स्वमात्रशेषेण
स्वमात्रशेषेण
विभाति यत्र.
विभाति यत्र.
So the teaching began with the students' questions. Typically, in our tradition, because of the nature of this Paravidya, one cannot teach Paravidya unless it is asked for. Because orientation is different. Paranchikani Vitranat Swayambhu. This is how we are all there. We are all after Artha, Kama and Dharma. So suddenly you talk about moksha means, and that too Paravidya, Jnanam and all, it won't make sense at all. Absolutely won't make sense because it doesn't fall in our idea of the world, our idea of the universe, our idea of life. And so that is why Katamesha Agataha. So Konama Bandaha. Once the student asks the questions, then there is some indication that there is interest. And then the teaching can start, which it started from shloka number 27, Panchikritebhyaha Bhutebhyaha. So he's talking about Sthula Shariram first. So, all part of Anatma. He didn't say Anatma, but he's saying Sthulam, Idam Sthulam. He talked about that. Means the gross body. Okay. Then he started talking about Sukshma Shariram Ahuhu Bhagadi Pancha. We saw that also. Essentially, he listed all the attributes, all the constituents of Sukshma Shariram were listed in that shloka number 28, Bhagadi Pancha. Now, in the shloka that we are now studying, so these numbers are a little off here and there, so don't be carried away by all that, and just understand what Shankaracharya, our Acharya, is talking about. So then, see, these were all written, my God, 2300, 2500 years ago. So it is a miracle that we have all these things. That means the tradition has been alive. There has been some people who've been teaching all these things and passing it along. And so the fact that it is all survived in this form is just, it's a blessing for humanity. So here he is saying, Idam Shariram Shrunu Sukshma Shangitam. We saw that also. Idam Sukshma Shariram. That Shariram, which I explained to you in the last shloka, like that he's saying, Shrunu Sukshma Sangitam. It is called Sukshmam, Sukshma Shariram, which he mentioned in the previous shloka also. But I have something more to say. Lingam, we saw that also. Linga Shariram, Apanchi Krita Bhuta Sambhavam. All that we've covered. Subtle versus gross. The gross has to come from subtle. The subtle comes from even more subtler, which is finally Atma. So therefore, Atma, Taittiriya Upanishad, Tasmadva Atmanaha Akasha Sambhutaha. From Atma came Akasha, like that the Upanishad says. Then Akasha, Dvayuhu, etc. Then even among the elements, Akasha is the subtlest. How do you know Akasha is the subtlest? Is it Akasha or Prithvi? You can't have a doubt. Why you can't have a doubt? Because Prithvi has five gunas. Akasha has only one guna. Akasha means can only be heard. Sound is a characteristic of Akasha and it can only be heard. It can't be seen, it can't be smelt, it can't be touched, it can't be tasted. But Prithvi, matter, gross matter, all attributes are there. Can be smelt also, it can be tasted, etc. Therefore, among the Panchabhutas also, the Prithvi is grosser than Akasha. This much I think you all know. So, now he's saying, Savasana, he's explaining. He's having more to say about this Sukshma Sharira. What constitutes Sukshma Shariram? He has explained in the previous shloka. Now he's explaining a little more about the Sukshma Shariram. It is Apanchikrita Bhuta Sambhavam Savasanam. This word we have not seen that much. Savasanam is Vasanena Saha. Along with Vasanas, he says. If at all somebody talks about Vasana, okay, all of us have heard the word Vasana. And he say Vasana means what? Vasana. You give the camp. In that camp, you give some prasada and you tell banana and then mango. Oh, I hate banana. I hate banana. I hate banana means what? What did banana do something to you? I mean, did it throw some stones at you or something? We don't know. So I hate banana. That is called vasana. I hate banana. So, like this, all of us have all kinds of vasanas. So there is see, vasana versus karma palam or karma. A lot of things that happen to our life, who we are a product of our own karma palam. And so, there is a subtle difference between vasana and karma palam. Karma palam, we are experiencing karma palam. We are getting things that we asked for and we didn't ask for also. Okay? And so, that karma palam impacts the bhokta. Make a note of this. Karma palam impacts the bhokta, means affects the bhokta. Means what? Karma palam is going to target the bhokta, the experiencer in us. Okay. Then what about vasana? Vasana affects the karta. Okay. So that means if I drink coffee, the children these days they're drinking tea and coffee and all. I was amazed because my parents never allowed me all these things. At a young age, just they are just coming and just filling it up and drinking. In this camp, I saw all these things, and so they had milk also because it's a children camp. No? They had milk on the side, so that was good. So the child drinks this thing. Actually, no child will like tea or coffee. It's impossible. It's all bitter and it's all confusing. And so they cannot like it. But somehow, if somebody says, I like tea, then what happens? Next day, same time, the mind says, I want tea. Then after that, tea. Then given. Then third day given, fourth day given, fifth day given, sixth day you can't take it out. You can't withdraw the tea. You know why? Now it has become part of the constitution. It has to go into the resume of this boy. And why? That is called vasana. Vasana doesn't impact the bhokta. It impacts the karta. Karta is demanding coffee or tea. Okay? So that is the subtle difference between vasana and karma phalam. Okay, you can say vasana also is part of karma phalam. This is destined to happen or something. You can say that is fine, but this thing is a part of the karma phalam that impacts the karta. And some people say it is not even part of karma phalam. It is just temporarily hanging around. And sometimes they say the baby is born with some vasanas. Okay, that is part of the karma phalam. And then some vasanas are picked up during the life. So many things that we didn't care for. Suddenly we care for it, or we want it, or we hate it. All these things come. So it's all called vasana. Either way, you take it, it's fine. But vasana affects the karta, karma phalam affects the bhokta. That is the main thing we want to say. We did see the word vasana some time ago in that famous shloka. Ishvara anugrahadeva pumsam advaita vasana. We saw that. Advaita vasana, what a shloka it is. Did you hear this word Advaita vasana? It means the vasana, the desire for Advaita. Okay, it is going to be a rare desire. And so, Advaita vasana, pumsam Advaita vasana. For a person, Purushasya or Purushanam pumsam, bahuvachanam. For people, Advaita vasana comes because of what? Ishvara Anugrahat Eva. By the blessing of Bhagavan only one gets this Advaita Vasana. Alright, that we saw some time ago. That is by the way. Okay, then what? Savasanam Vasanena Saha. This Sukshma Shariram comes along with its Vasanas also. If somebody has a desire for all these things, it is all stored in the Sukshma Shariram. It carries all the Vasanas, Shankaracharya is saying. And Karma Phala Anubhavakam. Yeah, of course. Bhokta. The Bhokta is just laden. It is all the constituents of the Sukshma Shariram, especially the mind is the experiencer. And so he's saying karma phala anubhavakam means experiencer of karma phalam is the meaning of that. And I am a bhokta if I identify with my mind and my sense organs and all my sukshma shariram. If I identify with this only, I am a bhokta. Fan is rotating on the ceiling. I don't say I am rotating. Nobody says I am rotating. What is why I am rotating? Fan is different, I am different. Even though it's clearly rotating. So fan is rotating. That's it. That's about it. Not I am rotating. Not I am black in color. Not I am pink. All that we don't say. Okay. But then here Sukshma Shariram is close by. And so I identify with the Sukshma Shariram, which makes me say I am a Karta, I am a Bhukta, I have Karma Palam, it is my Sarka, Sarpe likha hai, mera karma hai. Sade Sati is mine, all becomes mine. Everything becomes mine. Because what? Identification is there. He's going to talk shortly about that a little bit. Karma phala anubhavakam. And how do I, can you give me a clue that I am identifying with my Sukshma Shariram? Yes, of course. The clue is very much there. The deep sleep is the clue. Sleep itself is a clue. And when I sleep, then all my ideas that I have done all kinds of wrong things. God is making me suffer. This and that ideas don't exist. Don't exist. Why it doesn't exist? Because I don't identify with my Sthula Shariram identification gone. In dream itself gone. Then deep sleep, not there. Sthula Shariram not there. That is why the idea that see in dream, that's why the idea is this I am tall, I am fat, I'm this and that, those things are not there at all. Then deep sleep, everything is gone, including Sukshma Sharira identification is gone. Completely gone. That means what? That means who am I if somebody asks, we should get a clue. Yeah, I can't be. I can't be everything I say that really applies to Sukshma Shariram. I can't be that. I can't be that. I am healthy. Hey, health is a function of first word. Vaga di pancha, prana di pancha. Where was that? So that was correct. Shavana di pancha, prana di pancha. The third item. That is where health comes. Prana. And okay, you can attribute to Sthula Shariram also. So those things I am not. So here, this because of the identification, I say I am a karma phala anubhavakaha. Okay? That is important to know. Then, swa ajnanataha anadihi upadihi atmanaha. Those who are new to Sanskrit, you have to do some splitting here. Swajnanataha is one word. Then anadihi, next word. After that, upadhihi. Okay, upadhihi. And then afterwards, atmanaha. This is the way to split it. So there are four words here. Swajnanataha anadihi upadihi atmanaha. Alright, this requires some explanation. Upadhihi is a word that has been introduced. Upadhihi. Technical word, so it is something we use very commonly used in Vedanta, and otherwise also they use it, and so we need to understand what this is. Upadhi is something which seems to give its qualities to something else. Upadhi is something which seems to give its qualities, whatever its qualities are, shape, color, whatever qualities are there, any one or more of those qualities, it gives to something else. Something else. Okay, that is called that entity which is quote unquote donating its attributes, okay, to something else. The donor is called Upadhi. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Okay, so Swamiji will use a different example in class, but I don't have those objects with me here, so I'm going to try something different. So look at this. Look at this. There is a there is a there is this particular crystal. Crystal. It's just a clear piece of glass. Okay, and it looks brown. Correct? It looks brown in color, but really speaking, it is colorless. It's just a crystal. It's just a block of glass. Okay, it has Puja Swamiji's engraving inside this. Okay, and you may not be able to see it, but you can see what I mean. So this is crystal clear. It is colorless. But then when some other object is nearby, then it looks as though that some other object is donating its color to this crystal. And it'll happen. If a rose is there nearby, then the crystal will appear a little yellowish or a reddish, same color of the rose it takes. Okay? So then what happens? That object, we will say, the book is the upadhi of that crystal. The book is the upadhi of that crystal. Why? Because the color brown belongs to the book. It doesn't belong to the crystal at all. Then the crystal appears brown. Okay. That's the idea where an object is donating its attributes to something else. That is called upadhi. That object, that book in this case, is called upadhi. Book is the upadhi of the crystal. Okay. This is all the example. Very beautiful concept it is. I think only Vedantis use this idea. So now what? You're going to apply the same thing here. There is Atma, there is Sukshma Shariram, there is Sthula Shariram. And Sukshma Shariram is there, Sthula Shariram is there. Sthula Shariram is the Upadhi of Atma. Why? Because the Atma doesn't have any of these attributes that the Sthula Shariram has. Okay, all this tallness, smallness, size, form, shape, color, and all it doesn't have. Atma cannot have. And but yet I say, I am so and so, I say. Same thing with Shukshma Shariram. I am short sighted, I am this, I am that. Nothing wrong with saying, but I truly believe it. Saying and believing are two different things, but essentially for most of us, it's the same thing. And so, that's attributes of the Sukshma Shariram, like short sightedness, okay, is imputed, is projected on the Atma. Why? Because they are in proximity, close proximity. Well, I don't know if I can say close proximity, but they are close to each other. Close to each other. Samipye. Swasya swiyan dharman anyasmin upadhiyate adhiyate iti upadhihi. Some definition is there like that. Swiyan dharman its own attributes, dharma, sviyan dharma, anyasmin upadhiyate, anyasmin adhiyate. It gives to somebody else. That entity is called upadhihi. So that's what he's saying. Introduce the word here, upadhihi. And he's saying this Sushma Shariram is the Upadhi. Kiska Upadhi hai? Atmanaha. Atma's Upadhi. Atmanaha Shashti. So it is the Upadhi of Atma. And so the whole game changes now. So Atma is Paramatma. There itself he has said Paramatmanastava. He talked about Ajnana Yogat Paramatmanastava. Like that he said. So, Paramatma hai, Atma hai, and then all that is gone now. Why? Because I have taken on the attributes of this Sthula Sharira as though taken on. Okay? And so, therefore, I begin to all the activities that belong to this Sukshma Shariram. Seeing belongs to the eyes, the Sukshma aspect of the eyes. And so I begin to say things like, I am Drashta, Aham Drashta, I am the seer. What about this? What will I say to the hearing? I am who? I am Shrota, I am Shrota, I am the hearer, I am the guy who's hearing, obviously, who else is hearing, right? So I am Shrota. Then what? This is uh, Tvak, Sparsham. So I am Spashta. Then and the guy who's feeling the sensation of touch. And then again, this one, Rasanam is there. Aham Rasayita. I am the taster. I am the taster, obviously, because if I don't tell you what is being tasted, who else is going to tell you? Yeah, it's all fine. Then like that, then Grata. Aham Grata. I am the smeller, the guy who smells everything. That is it. So this is called the identification that happens between Atma and Sukshma Shariram. And so quietly, by introducing the word Upadhi, Vedanta comes into play. Vedanta comes. Why? Because there is an indication that the attributes of the Upadhi are falsely taken on by Atma, by somebody else. Here Atma, Atmanaha is already said. And so, even though the crystal doesn't really have those attributes, okay, in our Naiskarmya Siddhi, very long text, beautiful text written by Shankaracharya. He gives an example of this Upadhi. He gives the example of a spoon or a rod inserted in a let's give an example here, in a bucket of water, or better example, in a glass vessel, you put a spoon or a straight something, straight metallic rod. Let's say spoon is straight. And then you put the spoon, then guess what? Suddenly you look at it, and then the spoon is bent. The spoon is bent. My God, spoon is bent. Who bent the spoon? Water bent the spoon. Water bent the spoon. So what should you do? What should you do to make the spoon straight? This is the question. What should you do to make the spoon straight? What should you do?
Take out the spoon.
Take out the spoon from the water, correct? Is there any other answer?
Remove the water.
Or remove the water to make the spoon straight. Take the spoon out of the water or remove the water. Guess what? Go ahead and mute yourself. Guess what? Both answers are wrong. Both answers are wrong. Do you know why?
Spoon is
Do
not
you know why
bent.
both? Do you know why both answers are wrong?
Spoon is not bent.
already straight.
Spoon is not
Spoon is not bent. Spoon is not bent.
Spoon is straight anyway.
Savana is saying spoon is straight. That means what? You don't have to remove the spoon from the water to straighten it. My God, this is now you understand samsara. Now you understand samsara very well, I think. Huh? And so, what should I do to get
Let's change
moksha?
our vision.
What should I do to get moksha?
Do nothing, Guruji.
I should go to Rishikesh. I should go to this place. I should go to that place. I should do namaskara. I should do chanting. Really speaking, it is not there. Really speaking, it is not there. That is why Mano Buddhyahankara Chittani Naham, he says, and then he says, Gurur Naiva Shishyaha Naiva. He said there is really no Guru, no Shishya also. Because that is the truth. But in order to access the truth, I have to go through the process. Because that is my conditioning. In this simple spoon example itself, we are saying we should remove the spoon from the water. Okay, what to talk of this jiva? It is just so much karma phalam, and it is steeped in so many different ideas. And so keep that in mind. And so that's the idea here. Upadihi Atmanaha Upadihi. Idam Shariram Atmanaha Upadihi. This Shariram called Sukshma Shariram is the Upadhi for the Atma. Because Atma is now taken on attributes that it does not have. The attributes of what? Of the Sukshma Shariram itself. That is why he is saying this. Then how did this come about? Swa Ajnanataha. Swa Ajnanataha. I don't know. I don't know who I am. That's it. I'm born with this ajnanam and I continue to carefully protect this ajnanam. How do I protect the ajnanam? No, I don't protect. Guruji, that's not correct. How can you protect something that you don't know? Yeah, indirectly, I don't know. I protect ajnanam by hanging on to all the things that I have and I'm related to. And when I hang on, it automatically means that ajnanam is there. I'm carefully protecting ajnanam. That is the meaning. So ajnanataha means because of ajnanam. And I just don't know who I am. Going back to that example of the guy who was searching for his glasses, I don't know. Or any other example you can take of the earth, the sun revolving around us. Sun is revolving. In fact, all our rituals are based on that. The whole day starts because of the sunrise, and they even publish those days. I remember in the Hindu newspaper or some newspaper, sunrise at this time, sunset at this time. They used to publish all these things. I never used it for practical purposes. I don't use it, but many people were using it. It is very important. Sunset exactly 6:36 p.m. So this whole sunrise and sunset is a part of our life, every human being's life.
Especially for Muslims during the Ramadan.
And so we took this to be literal. And some scientists had to come and say they had to sacrifice their lives and say, no, it doesn't rotate. It doesn't revolve at all. And of course, we knew that long before that. But what? This is called, I don't know the reality. If I don't know what is true, then I am going to be a victim of all the symptoms of what I take to be true. If I don't know what is true, in this case, I don't know that Earth is the one that's rotating and Sun is stationary. I don't know it. And so I have to assume the Sun is revolving around me. And out of that comes, whatever comes. Here also same thing. I don't know my nature of Atma. He's saying, Swa Ajnanataha. This Ajnanam of the self. Atma Ajnanataha. Okay. And he's saying, how long did I have this ajnanam? When did I get it? Because that also he asked the student, Ko nama bandhaha katamesha agataha. How did it come about? Some ideas the student himself had given in shloka number 25. And he's saying, Anadihi. It is Anadihi. So in a way, in this Janma, you did not do anything special to get this ajnanam. It has been there before itself. Everybody has it. And Swa Ajnanataha Anadihi Upadihi Atmanaha. Then he's giving further some ideas. He's giving Swapnaha Bhavati Asya Vibhakti Avastha. You know, when do you really want to appreciate, when can you really appreciate Sukshma Shariram, if you ask? Which of the three states of experience? This is the Jagrad Avastha, waking state. This is the state we are in. And then, or dream, Swapnavastha, or Sushupti Avastha. He's saying, in Sushupti Avastha, I am totally unaware of the gross body and in Sushupti, unaware of the gross body and the Sukshma Sharira. Both I am unaware. In the dream state, of course, I am unaware of the body, but I am still aware of all the experiences. Whole dream is an experience. It's purely thoughts, thought world, completely thought world. Okay, so a portion of the Sukshma Shariram is being, only the Sukshma Shariram is manifest, available for me to experience. Gross body, I'm not involved. I'm not a karta at all. So I'm not doing any action. So therefore, whereas in the Jagrad Avastha, there is both action involved, but this Sthula Shariram involved and Sukshma Shariram involved. And so there is a mix-up in the Jagrad Avastha. And because the mix-up is there, here Shankaracharya is saying, he's connecting the Avastha to the Shariram. There are three Sharirams and three Avasthas. He's connecting the two in this case by saying, Asya means what? Of this Sukshma Sharirasya, Sapnaha Vibhaktyavastha Bhavati. Bhavati is a verb there. Bhavati is a verb. Swapnavastha becomes a distinct state in which the Sukshma Shariram alone is manifest. Therefore, that Swapnavastha belongs to the Sukshma Shariram as though. Because that is the only thing that is active. Only the subtle things are going on. Gross body is absent. Sukshma absent means not identified, not active at all. So, Swapnaha Bhavati Asya Sukshma Sharirasya Vibhakti Avastha. Vibhakti means distinct. Bhajanam, Bhakti. All these words come from this Bhaj Dhatu, Sevayam. So, distinct, separate, categorical. However you want to say, distinct avastha, distinct state. Okay, all right. Swamatra sheshena vibhati yatra. Yeah, yatra means yatra avasthayam, swapna avasthayam. Yatra means where. Where means what? In that swapna avastha, vibhati. Sukshma shariram vibhati. Sukshma shariram shines. Only Sukshma Shariram. Swamatra Sheshena. Swamatra. Sukshma Sharira Matram. This Matra word is there in all our Indian languages. Matra means eva, alone, only. Only the Sukshma Shariram remains. Shesha remains. Remains for us to watch and appreciate. When I wake up, I can say I had a dream, I did not have a dream, I had what kind of dream I had, everything I can talk about. And so Matra Sheshena Vibhati. Vibhati Yatra. Yeah, that's the idea. So in this shloka, what was talked about? The Sukshma Shariram, which was defined in the previous shloka in terms of its constituents, is further explained. The nature of Sukshma Shariram is explained by first saying that Sukshma Shariram is Lingam, Linga Shariram, which means it is the indicator of life in the body. Okay? And the fact that it carries on the vasanas. And one way to identify the Sukshma Shariram is to analyze the dream. Dream is where the Sukshma Shariram exclusively is operating. Like that, he has said. And it is my identification with the Sukshma Shariram is Anadi Kalat. And because of Ajnanam, that Sukshma Shariram is called the Upadhi of Atma. This one important concept we learned. And so that Upadhi word is important in us. And sometimes we will say things like, Swamiji is a Vishesha Upadhi, like that we will say. Vishesha Upadhi means Upadhi Visheshaha. Means this is a special being, very special being, like that. We often use that word. Anyway, let's translate the shloka. Know that this body named as subtle, subtle, is also known as Linga Shariram. Full stop. It is indeed born of the elements. It is indeed born of the elements in their subtle state. Their subtle state. Apanchikrita, So, Panchikrita means gross. Therefore, Apanchikrita means subtle. It is indeed born of the elements in their subtle state and is possessed of impressions of previous experiences and is possessed of impressions of previous experiences. Full stop. It is the experiencer of the results of actions within brackets you can say punyam and papam.
Experiencer.
Correct. It is the experiencer of the results of actions, namely punyam and papam, and is the beginningless upadhi for the jivatma. Beginningless upadhi for the jivatma. Next sentence. Dream is its dream, or the dream is its distinct state.
Can you please repeat?
Dream is its distinct state, or the dream is its distinct state. in which it shines alone. It shines alone, within brackets, without the physical body. Okay, let me read this. Know that this body named as subtle is also known as Linga Shariram, full stop. It is indeed born of the elements in their subtle state and is possessed of impressions of previous experiences, full stop. It is the experiencer of the results of actions, namely Punyam and Papam, and is the beginningless Upadhi for the Jivatma. Next, dream is its distinct state in which it shines alone without the physical body. Okay, and then next shloka. What do we have next?
Sangita Jay will do.
Yeah. Sarvavyaprtikaranam lingam
सर्वव्यापृतिकरणं लिङ्गम्
idam syat chidatmanah pumsaha
इदं स्याच्चिदात्मनः पुंसः
vasyadikamiva takshnaha
वास्यादिकम् इव तक्षणः
tenaivatma bhavatyasangojam.
तेनैवात्मा भवत्यसङ्गोऽयम्
Good. Sarvavyaprtikaranam lingam
सर्वव्यापृतिकरणं लिङ्गम्
idam syat pumsaha
इदं स्याच्चिदात्मनः पुंसः
vasyadikamiva takshnaha
वास्यादिकं इव तक्षणः
tenaivatma bhavatyasangojam.
तेनैवात्मा भवत्यसङ्गोऽयम्
Further, the topic of Sukshma Shariram continues. 1 minute. I have to get my charger. Yeah. The main sentence here is, if you underline the words, Karanam Lingam Idam, right in the middle of the first half. Karanam Lingam Idam. Okay, so Idam Lingam Karanam. Idam Lingam Karanam. This Linga Shariram is an instrument. Is an instrument. That's it. This itself, it's a loaded statement. It is Vedanta. Vedanta begins like this. It's an instrument. The word Karanam is critical. I operate instruments. We all operate instruments. Every day we operate. So the minute we get up onwards, you use a toothbrush. Toothbrush is an instrument. Toothpaste is another samagri. Like this, instrument are being operated. Nobody confuses an instrument they are using with themselves. Nobody says, I am the toothbrush. Even though the toothbrush is almost entering the body, it's gone. Half the toothbrush is inside the mouth. But nobody says still, oh, why you have this toothbrush has become you. No, it has not become me. It will become, it is still outside me only. It's not part of me. Thank God it's not part of me. Okay. And so, nobody is all Karanam. If you say, it can't be me. Okay. And Shankaracharya is compassionately saying, this Sukshma Shariram, which is like an intricate part of you, and he says that is a Karanam. Okay, so very interesting. It's an, I mean, that is Vedanta. It's a karana. So keep that in mind, like that he's saying. And what we need to understand here is what? I'll come back to that idea later. I'll explain what some of the words here. Sarva Vyapriti Karana. व्यापारः व्यापार बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में that same व्यापृति is व्यापारः only different word व्यापृतिः व्यापारः सर्व व्यापारः करणम. Hey, it is an instrument of all actions. सर्व व्यापारः so Sarva Vyapara, Sarva, important word, because it means all transactions we do, whether it is religious activities, spiritual activities, whether it is secular activity, whether it is a marriage being conducted, or whether it is a ceremony, a Antyeshti karma, last rite karma, everything involved. Dharmic activities, stealing, lying, everything, Sarva Vyapriti Karanam, Idam Lingam. Okay, Idam Lingam. Now, Vivekachoodaman has all sense organs, then Vagadi Pancha means the organs of action, hands, legs. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Then this one, Jnanendriyani, the sense organs, yeah, they're also operating. And I need to use them. I use them. It is an instrument for me. Then what? Pancha Pranaha. Pancha Pranaha are meant to sustain the body. I'm not really using them. I don't use the digestive system. I don't use it. It is just working. It is doing its job. Circulation doing its job. All these physiological systems are doing their job. So we won't say prana is a karanam. It is just there for maintenance. It is just for the survival of the body. It keeps ticking. Okay. Sense organs are not needed for the survival of the body. Yeah. So anyway, so the prana is just a counter, it is just a maintainer of the body. But everything else, manas, buddhi, chittam, ahankara, okay, all different functions of the mind, all that is my own instrument. Memory is something I use. I need that memory. Without memory, we can't even know who we are. I can't know who we are. I see somebody and the next minute I forget that person. That's how it will become. So memory is critical. So all these are all called karanam for all the vyaparas, all the engagements, all transactions I do. This sukshma shariram is the karanam. Like that Acharya is saying. And then, okay, the knife and the blade and the tools and the toothbrush and all that are instruments, no doubt. It is handled by the Sthula Shariram. Sthula Shariram is handling all those things. Okay, very interesting. The hand is such an important part. That's why Pani Tattvabodhakara says, Vastu Grahanam he defines. Grahanam. In order to do something, you have to grasp something, and that grasping entity is the hand. That is what he claims there. He says there. And so now I use all these instruments in front of me. Telephone, laptop, pencil, pen, everything. And big instruments are all there. Big vehicles are there. Cranes, earth-moving machines are all there. They're all instruments, all right. Okay. That is being used by the Sthula Shariram. Then Sthula Shariram is used by the Sukshma Shariram. Then Sukshma Shariram commands, the mind commands the Sthula Shariram to do things. So, the external instruments are handled by the Sthula Shariram. The Sthula Shariram is handled by the Sukshma Shariram, where the mind is a predominant pradhanam. Then who handles the mind? Who handles the Sukshma Shariram? Or who handles the mind? Let's keep it simple. Who handles the mind? Now, if you say there is another mind that handles the mind, then that's a problem. That's a problem because then why are you separating that mind from this mind? It's all one mind only, no? So we don't need to get there. If you get there, then you get lost. So therefore, say That mind alone handles the mind. There is nothing else that can handle the mind. That is why, if you recall Bhagavad Gita, okay, Bhagavad Gita, this shloka numbers, the second 6.34, if you want to make a note. Arjuna is asking, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavad dridham. Tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva dushkaram, he says. He's very simple. He's a concern he has. Krishna, you're telling me so much, but my mind is just all over the place. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna, like a child tells. Child may not know also. When Swami Paramathanandaji came here last month, he gave an example. One boy came and told Swamiji, Swamiji, my mind is racing. Very interesting. Even for a boy to recognize that the mind is moving, can't be steady. I thought that was even to recognize that is a very big thing. You may not know it. And so, then Krishna tells, what does he say? Asamshayam mahabaho, mano asamshayam mahabaho, mano durnigraham chalam, abhyasena tu kauteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. That's it. He says, Abhyas, yes, he says, first he accepts. That means it gives me some relief. I'm not alone. My mind is not the only thing that is racing. Then he calms the person down and he says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena grihyate. Therefore, there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to suddenly calm the mind and all that. Nothing will happen. Vairagyena, practice all the values. Practice all the values that Krishna is talking about, all the Shastras talk about. Living in India is enough. You will come to know all these things. People will say things like, only India is very unique. People will say, no, I don't want to take the medicine. I will just put some oil and I will just suffer through for a day or two or three and then backache will be okay. In the America and all, they won't talk like this. This putting up with pain is just not understood. Who am I to put up with pain? It is a doctor's job to remove my pain. India is unique. They will keep on saying these things. Sometimes they will keep stretching it to their own detriment. That is different. But that vairagyam, we develop vairagyam. Just living in India, you develop vairagyam. Putting up with heat, putting up with rain, putting up with storms, and just putting up. The master said that. So, vairagyena, he says, chagrihyate, abhyasena. You have to practice it also. Practice it. So, means you have to consciously be aware of all the issues and then make yourself live in the present moment and understand that, things will be better. I have to tell myself things will be better. I don't have to react to what's happening right now. All that. So there he talked about. Why? Because mind is the only thing that has to handle the mind. Yes, elsewhere also he said, Atmanatmanam Natmanam avasadayet. We saw all these things. Okay. That was also in the 6th chapter only. Help yourself, he says, help yourself. Very interesting. Don't be harsh on yourself, he said that. And so here also, now he's helping us understand that the Sukshma Shariram is a tool. Family uses the word toolkit. It is a toolkit available to us. Okay, toolkit. All the sense organs are there. Mind is also there. So I can use whatever I want at any given time. Like the guy who in India you don't see that much. Sometimes you see, but in America it's common. These people, the workmen, they come. They will have a all the tools on their waist, tied on their waist. So it has a belt and they have grooves where your chisel is there in here, cutting plier is here, screwdriver is here, a torchlight, a flashlight is here, a walkie-talkie is here. Like this, they have all things. Very interesting.
A special coat.
Okay. So very interesting it is. And so, like that, Sukshma Shariram is exactly like that. And he's giving an example, saying, okay, Pumsaha Atmanaha Idam Lingam Sarva Vyapriti Karanam. Let me finish that. This is an instrument for all activities. And whose it is? It Pumsaha Chidatmanaha Syat. Means Jivatma. Chidatma means Jivatma. Pumsaha of this person. Purushasya. Purushasya Jivatmanaha Karanam Syat would be the Sukshma Shariram is considered to be the instrument for this Jivatma, which is manifest as this human being. That's a way to look at that part. Then Vasyadikam iva Takshnaha. Takshna means carpenter. Takshan, Sanskrit people, Takshan, Nakaranta Pullingam. Like Brahman, Nakaranta Pullingam, Brahmaji, Brahma, Brahmanam, Brahmanaha. Like that. Taksha, Takshanam, Takshanaha. Taksha means carpenter. And so Takshanaha, Shashti Ekavachanam. Of that carpenter, Vasyadikam iva. Vasi. First word is Vasi, okay? Vasi Adikam. Vasi means chisel. Chisel. If you don't know what a chisel is, I have to explain it to you. You imagine a knife. You imagine a knife. Knife, all we all know, is a handle, and then there's a long metallic, thin strip of metal, and one edge of which is very sharp. One edge of which is very sharp. So you can use that and cut like this. Okay, this is a knife. Chisel is not knife. Now imagine this metallic thing to be pretty thick, not thin like knife, but thick, almost 5 mm thick. Let's say half a centimeter, let's say 3-4 mm thick, and then it is just a rod-like thing, plate-like thing. It is thick, and then at the edge of this rod, go I show this. At the edge of this, imagine the edge to be sharp, not these sides. Long sides are not sharp. The tip of it is sharp. It's a sharp horizontal line, okay? And imagine it to be beveled. It's tapering. It is sharp now, right? It is thick, and then becomes thin and becomes sharp. And you have a handle, and you have to poke this thing. This instrument you have to poke into the wooden, whatever wooden piece, log or bar or whatever stick that the carpenter is going to work on. They will just poke it in like this. Then what he's shaving off parts of the wood, You see our wood and all, doors and all, it's all carved, There's a lot of, this thing is there. It's all beveled. It's not a straight piece of wood. So he will carve off. And then he will take a mallet and then hit this tool. Hit it. Because this is a wooden handle, the wooden mallet is there. They hit it. And then the chisel will pierce the wood, and then he will shave it off the way he wants to shave it. That instrument is called a chisel. It's an example. Chisel, like this, all the the things that drill into shave the wood is all called Vasyadikam, Vasi Adikam, Takshnaha. A carpenter cannot do the job without the tools. Tools cannot do the job without a carpenter. Okay, both have to come together. And so that is why Sukshma Shariram is there. For us, Jivatma without Sukshma Shariram is a meaningless entity, useless entity. Sukshma Shariram by itself cannot do anything. So after death, the Sukshma Shariram leaves, and then guess what? It can't do anything. It can't do anything. A Karana Shariram and Sukshma Shariram is just there, waiting for a body. Waiting for a body. Until then, they get prayers from us. They become our pitris, and then we do prarthana for them. Let them have a good journey, like that we say. We don't need to pray for somebody who has a body. The pitris are all those who have not yet got a body. They have passed away but don't have a body yet. We give them a benefit of doubt. 3 janmas, 3 generations, we give them benefit of doubt. So that's why we keep chanting our three ancestors' names in our Shraddha ceremonies. Okay. So that's by the way. And so Vasyadikam Iva Takshnaha. Iva means like the tools of a carpenter. Okay, like the tools of a carpenter. Tena eva atma bhavati asangaha ayam. The carpenter never confuses himself to be the tools. He goes home and then he will just simply remove the belt and put it aside. Put it aside and do his normal duties. Never. Even though without the tools, this guy is just useless. This guy can't function. In India, I watch all these people, and the people who come to work, they sometimes they don't have proper tools. I have given my tools to them. You won't believe it. Some screwdriver, it is blunt. He's trying to unscrew something. I tell him, wait, you take this screwdriver and do it. And I ask him what happened. No, my manager will not give me tools. Like that, he complains to me. Okay. In a cycle shop, it happened the other day. He's trying to unscrew something in my bicycle and he doesn't have the tools. Poor man. And he's working on a screwdriver that is so bent. So, anyway, a bad workman blames his tools like that I've read. Okay, that is different. But tools are important to do your proper job in the kitchen. You have to have the right utensils. Otherwise, cooking will be a very painful job. You don't have the right things at all. And so, anyway, that's by the way. So here also, the carpenter identifies with the tools all right, but he looks at the tool as a tool, not as a self. Like that, eva. And because of that reason, tena eva, because of this reason, which reason? The way the Sukshma Shariram is a tool, toolkit, because of that reason. And the carpenter walks away from the tools. If something happens to this tool, he may be upset for a while, but then he will replace it by another tool. He is not going to just swoon and just sob and all that. He is going to get another tool, sharpen his tool, and move on. Okay. And here also, Tena Eva, because of that reason, that example we have given, and because of the nature of Sukshma Shariram and Atma Bhavati Asangaha Ayam. Ayam Atma, you should do it like this. Ayam Atma Asangaha Bhavati. Very simple Sanskrit statement it is. Ayam Atma, Yeshaha Atma, Asangaha Bhavati. This Atma is Asangaha. Just bold statement Shankaracharya gives. This Atma is Asangaha. This Atma does not take on the attributes of the Sukshma Shariram. However much you love yourself, I is not does not have the attribute of all the things that you think Atma has. Tena eva, for that reason, this Atma is Asangaha. Asangaha means what? Bhoktritva Kartritva Rahitaha. All attributes that you have given to yourself, it doesn't have. It doesn't have. Okay. And Radhave. Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami gives the example. Hey, in Shushupti, no attributes are there. Only when you are awake, you are doing all kinds of stuff. In Shushupti, it is not there. So, how can you impute the attributes of all your sense organs onto the Atma? Not possible. Like that, Mahaswami is writing a commentary. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते. Krishna said long ago, hey, things are happening. Everything is a tool and they have gunas. And Atma is nirgunam. So gunas are there. Make use of the gunas. Do what you have to do. But then ahankara vimudhatma. Kartaham iti manyate. My God, this guy thinks I am the doer. No. I am blessed to be in the middle of all these things. I am blessed to do whatever I have been asked to do, and that's it. Then walk away from that. Like the carpenter walks away from the tools. Okay? Every day we should practice doing that. So, and elsewhere he said, Chatur Varnim Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. Very interesting. He says, the four varnas, I am the creator. Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram abhyayam. Hey, but then I did not do. I created, but I did not create. That's what Krishna is saying. there. So therefore here also asangaha ayam. Let's translate the shloka. Just as a chisel, etc. Just as a chisel, etc. for a carpenter. Just as a chisel, etc. for a carpenter, comma, this subtle body is a tool, within brackets, means, is a tool for all activities. This subtle body is a tool, means for all activities. For the jiva. For the jiva. Whose nature is consciousness. Chidatmanaha is there, no, that word, that's why. Whose nature is consciousness. Full stop. This being so, comma, the self is ever unattached. This being so, the self is ever unattached. Okay. Let me read that again. Just as the chisel, etc., for a carpenter, this subtle body is a tool, means for all activities for the jiva, whose nature is consciousness. This being so, the self is ever unattached. With rains in many parts of India, our prayer, we have to more consciously pray that particular mantra we say, Kale Varshatu Parjanya. Pray for everybody's well-being and for the rains to recede as soon as possible. Kale Varshatu Parjanya Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
ధన్యవాదాలు జయకుమార్.
ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదాలు అజయ్ కుమార్ జీ.
ధన్యవాదాలు గురుజీ.
ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదాలు గురుజీ.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Guruji, you can stop recording and restart.
నమో నమః నమో నమః